Are you ready?
Yeah, bro.
Welcome back to the SuperCoach Experience podcast. I'm your coach, Brandon Savage. I'm your coach, the coach of the Savage Burbos. I'm joined here by the 2021 champion, Tim Moody. How are you, Timmy?
I'm good, bro. I think I'm feeling a bit fresher than what you are.
I'm feeling. Magic Round has definitely got me. How was your weekend?
It was awesome, bro. Yeah, it was awesome. Friday night, sort of eased into it a little bit after a long drive. Still had a pretty good crack. Went out afterwards. Got some good rest. Got up pretty early still, and then had a good go on Saturday. That was probably the highlight. The Saturday, I reckon, and then Sunday was a bit of a tough one. Big night. Having to back up again 3 days in, and then watch the Panthers get upset on the first game was a bit deflating. But I had so much fun.
Did you drink Sunday?
I had I nursed a couple of beers. The boys I was with had a few more than what I did. I sort of knew where I was at. So
I didn't touch any alcohol on the Sunday. I was just wrecked. I was so Friday night we obviously drove up 1 a.m, got there at 11, and we were pretty much at the Caxton by 12:30, 1 o'clock. It was that Friday night was tough. I had to do the wrap up, had to wait till the end of the game, and I was falling asleep in the grandstands. It was real bad. Did the wrap up for the Daily Telegraph, and then next day I was like, geez, I might not go as hard as I expected to on the Saturday, but
you've got to.
You've got to. You've just got to.
Important part of the game.
You've just got to take a tough carry, and it was very good. I don't know about you, but it feels like I was with my brother, and he thought if he didn't know how big our podcast was, he would have thought we were like the biggest thing ever. Like the people coming up to us left, right, and center, like saying, "Oh, SuperCoach Experience." So that was a good experience. No pun intended. Met a lot of boys there. Met the Tim Williams for the first time. Met the Spy. We got the Chocolates boys were there. Shout out to them. Goldie listens to our podcast, and my brother's a massive fan of his. So we're at the Caxton on the Saturday. I left my brother with them, and he was like just having a good old time, just chatting to him for like an hour or so.
Someone thought he was Piggy Riddell, I think, on day one.
While we'll hanging out with Zach Hosking's brother as well. The massive weekend. Yeah,
it was a good time. It was a tough day on the second day because me and my mates were all dressed in the pink Amy outfits, and the drunker the crowd got, the more banter we were just absolutely drilled. So it was just an opportunity for the fans to be able to give back to the referees, and they were just verbally abusing us, but we were holding our own, just sending a few people off here and there.
I was going to say, how many people did you send off? How many people did you penalise?
Mate, there was a lot of penalties. There was a lot of warnings. I'm a pretty fair ref. I spoke to a few of the captains and just said, look, this guy's getting a bit out of hand. You're going to have to pull this bloke in line. And, it was well received. It was good fun.
So, obviously, if you don't know what Timmy's talking about, he dressed up in the ref's outfit. You can check his Instagram. You'll see he uploaded the photos today. It was, and one of your mates looks exactly like a ref.
He looks very official. Yeah, he's got that sort of look about him. He's got the right head for it. And there's a few people that I probably didn't watch footy enough, and they were kind of like, "He's real refs," or and I think just seeing the refs sort of hitting the dance floor with a few beers in their hand, changed the opinion on the refs. So hopefully we've made a few people out there realise that refs are all right.
It was a good year for yourself. What is one thing you'll do to make it better next year?
Oh, definitely. We both drove up.
I think that's a mistake.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Yeah, get that. Learn from that one. But, other than that, I don't think there's much I'd change. Each year's a little bit different. Just soak it all up.
Yeah.
Haven't you've got to go. It's definitely worth it.
I think you've 100% got to go if you don't go there. To be fair, I think a lot of people that I know are within our circles went. Like, I saw absolutely everyone up there. I saw more people up there than I've seen anywhere at one time. Like, just everywhere you go, you see someone left, right, and centre. But, yeah, it's a great weekend. I did ask some people what they would do to make it better. There was one guy who said have the NRL 100-metre race.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I reckon that'd be pretty awesome. But, yeah, maybe a SuperCoach tent next year where Tom Sangster.
That'd be cool.
Anyway, SuperCoach.
I thought you meant what would I change about my own performance at Magic Round, not what they would change at Magic Round.
Oh, well, I guess it's kind of a question, a broad question. But SuperCoach, how'd you go?
Yeah, not too crash hot. 1,240. Yeah, this is probably one of the weekends I watched my SuperCoach a lot less and kind of didn't care as much how I went. I checked my score just today, actually. I had a big drive back yesterday. I tried to stay off the social media and stuff as much as I could over the weekend.
Oh, it's a good decision.
Yeah, just enjoy the moment. And, there was a couple of good performers in there. Like, I'm happy with a lot of things, but, yeah, there's a few duds out there. Like, Zarko didn't go as well as I would have liked. Just a 45. Sammy Walker, a 45 in a higher scoring sort of game. Bit worried about him now with Munster going down. Possibly he could be on the fringes, 18th
I think
man
you're
or
right.
something.
I think you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, some like Eli Katoa, he had a massive one. That was awesome. Blaze Talangi, absolutely killing
Played
it.
him?
Yeah, definitely.
Nice.
So I'm just really impressed by all these, like the guys we were talking about last week, Blaze Talangi, Farlogo, Cooler, all looking really good. David Armstrong, who we don't own. That was a tough watch.
I don't own any of them, eh? Like, I don't own Blaze Talangi either.
I think they're all potentially great things. Maybe, I'm hearing that Pappy might be back in a couple of weeks.
Round 14.
Geez, that seems soon.
It seems really soon.
For fracturing a leg above, geez, that seems quick.
I think what we'll do is, with Fartlongo, he's obviously just... There's so many of these cheapies in the same kind of price bracket. They're all about 400k now. If you haven't jumped on them, it's not too late, in my opinion.
No, not at all. I'm even thinking about Armstrong, actually, even though I've been so off him. But, geez, his support plays great.
With 100 in his average, it helps. Last week, he had 65. So, if he pumped out 25 this week, there was a potential chance he could have only made 50k. So, it was risky last week. I think it's more safe this week. He has
a bye this week, so we wait a week.
Exactly.
But if there's someone you sort of want to just get rid of because they got a super high BE and you know what, you could still go to him.
Yeah, I like it. I scored 1368. Had a pretty good week. Obviously, the Sunday kind of hurt me. Like, Adam Fanil-Blake came into my side, and I feel like in the top 100, 64 people own him, so obviously 30-odd people got to jump on me with Adam Fanil-Blake, but the front row is a bit of a wasteland anyway. It's
not so much of a jump because who was their player that scored so well? Maybe just if you hadn't have made that trade and went for a higher upside guy, you could have got ahead of them.
That's where it hurts, but also he's tonned up since I had him. He's had a few good performances, so I've gone up to 19th overall, which I'm very stoked with. I got Latrell Mitchell into my side.
Yeah, nice.
Which was a very Magic Round decision, and I captained him too. So
good.
It was a good decision, and I'm actually pretty happy to own him this week. He plays the Parramatta Eels off the coach Brad Arthur sacking, which historically is not that good. But Brad
I didn't know this. This is how much I'm off social media.
Oh, yeah, you didn't know it. So Brad Arthur got sacked yesterday, and shout out to Brad Arthur. It's his birthday today.
Oh.
Yeah. Turns 50.
Oh.
Yeah, not good. So he's sacked. The thing with the coach sacking, there's always a reaction the week after, but I've never seen anyone for Parramatta in their current side at the moment come out and publicly criticise someone like Brad Arthur. I think he's really liked within the playing group, so it could be a good week to have Latrell against the Parramatta Eels, especially when they're struggling defensively. I don't know if Latrell makes Origin.
So you're sort of saying because they all support Brad Arthur, it's not like they want to come out and have a massive game, just sort of stick it to him.
Yeah,
or anything
exactly.
Like that.
Exactly. So it might be more of the same. Like, they're professional rugby league players. They're not going to be like, we're throwing this game.
Yeah, of course.
So I think it's a nice week to have him. An Indigenous round this week. I think that was...
Nice eyes up there.
Yeah. So Mikey was saying to me, yeah, bro, it's Jack One's 250th this game, Indigenous round next weekend. And then I was like, I'm captaining him. And Mikey was like, no, don't do it. And I was like, no. And I
liked it because we were both unsure about, didn't really feel drinky, weren't super confident, just didn't have that.
I kept telling people all weekend, I think South's going to win. So
talk about telling people all weekend, this nice old bloke come up to me, he's probably in his 60s, and he's, can I get a photo with you and have a look at my side, and is there any changes you'd make? And I was like, oh, you got Nico as your captain. Maybe not this week off the calf injury. And it's a tougher matchup. I'd go drinky, and poor bloke.
Did he message you?
No, we don't know. He's probably doesn't know how.
Well, you sold Nico, didn't you?
Yeah, not that like last week, the week before. Yeah.
How do you feel?
Crap. Yeah.
You feel crap?
Yeah. So I would have liked him to have not played this week, and it sort of still wouldn't have really been that much of a win because it's a pain in the ass to not have him in any game he's playing. But yeah, I'm just going to make some adjustments, keep going, just keep boosting the rest of my squad up, and hopefully I can maybe get a little ahead those weeks that he doesn't play. We'll see how we go.
Sweet. Okay, so round 13 is coming up quick and fast. It's round 12 this week, so obviously we're going to emphasise on the buys very heavily, and we haven't really had too much buy chat because I feel like previous years we've focused only on buys, and I think last year was proof in the pudding that if you focus too much on buys and you screw yourself for later in the season. Like, I think it's more important to have squad depth at the end of the season, to have trades at the end of the season, than trade hard within the buy period. I think regardless, you've got to kind of trade hard anyway because you've got to have enough players to field every week. But I think in this period, it's not about getting the best score every week. It's about maintaining. And, you know, if you look at your side and you think, okay, this is the week where I can capitalise and I can have a jump this week, then go hard by all means. But I think it means if you think you're good for round 13, but you don't think you're good for round 16, go hard in round 13 and then just kind of just be casual in round 16. So I think it's all about not going hard throughout the whole period, but it's about choosing your battles. And we've got to look at the teams that are playing. So we've got the Parramatta Eels, the Sharks, the Knights, the Bulldogs, Penrith Panthers, Dragons, Dolphins, Raiders, Roosters, and Cowboys. Who do you think are your top 3 targets that you don't have in your side? And maybe even tell me a target that you think you have in your side, which you think someone should prioritise if they don't have.
Good question. I don't just to what you were saying before, I think we don't have to focus as much now on the buys with the change they've made in the last couple of years. I think it was last year they adjusted it with your top 13 players that are playing. In previous years when you could, have 17 on the park and get ahead of maybe people that hadn't buy planned and only was stuck with, say, 8 or something like that. That was when there was such a ridiculous variance in those scores and such an opportunity to jump. But I think even sometimes the way we're going these, like if we can only field 18 and people haven't really focused too much and they've only got, say, 8, then they realise that in round 13 they've now got the ability to bring in 3 players and get pretty close to or almost, identical to 13, 12, thereabouts anyway. Yeah. So that's probably less of the focus. The players I don't have I don't know whether I'm going to be bringing all these 3 guys in that I mentioned, and I'm probably missing some because I'm not really going to be trading this week, so my mind isn't sort of heavy on bringing players in, probably closer to 13, the week after I'll do that. But Manu's one I don't have, but that'll really depend on the Teddy selection, whether he plays Origin. I'd be much more worried about him if he's playing fullback over that period. Yeah,
so if Teddy doesn't get selected, who do you think is more of a priority, Teddy or Manu?
Probably Teddy, maybe at the price, but they're both scoring pretty
Manu's scoring pretty elite as it is, and he's roaming, which is in previous years you kind of look at him at centre and you're like, oh yeah, he's good, but these games at fullback really elevate him.
He's got a good combo with Dom Young too at the moment. He's trusting him, he's giving them ball, and I think that part of that comes from Joey Manu being such an individual, such a superstar, will back himself more often than not, thinking I'll do this job rather than give it off. And but I think he's really got a lot of trust in Dom, and just they makes him look good giving it to Dom as well sometimes. So probably definitely someone I'm going to have my mind on and hopefully try get in. But still I'm in an awkward spot because I've got a lot of these centre wingers and I'm not too sure whether I want to sell any of them because a lot of them are I've been stacking that centre position over the last 6-week period and making a few adjustments. Outside of that, maybe the one that is on my mind is Jerome Hughes. Around that, over that buy period, I think he could go pretty good. And who else I don't have? Nothing really standing out. What about yourself?
I think Manu, obviously. He's the number one target for me, especially that's not in my side. A lot of people do have him. It doesn't feel like there's much else after that.
Maybe a Jeremy Marshall-King had a better game last week. But
I don't think he's a must-have, though.
Yeah,
Robson, I've got him in my side. I don't know what his chances of getting picked for Origin are. He probably does make it, but that being said, like if he doesn't make it, I don't need to be rushing Jeremy Marshall-King into my side. There's all these other players. Crichton, if he doesn't get picked for Origin. And I feel like over the last few weeks, we've kind of been saying... we don't want to.
Crichton? Angus. Oh, so he's one you've got, you recommend. Yeah.
But he probably plays Origin, let's be honest. But a lot of these players, I've kind of... all these cheap kind of players, we've kind of said, we want to avoid playing these players week to week. I think it's the time of year where, especially with all the injuries to all these guns... I think it's okay. Like, I feel like don't stress about if you have to play Blaze Talangi on a week-to-week basis just for the next couple of weeks.
I think I'm pretty excited too, actually, from what I've seen. Yeah,
exactly. Kale Lyra, I think he's, in my opinion, he's like a gun centre wing, in my opinion. There's players like Ethan Strange and Lockie Galvin who week-to-week are pretty good. So
I sold Strange last week, and I'm okay with that still. It was kind of like... I needed to offload some of the guys I had that were on the buy in round 14. I've stacked a lot of the guys for round 13. So because I've brought in some of these guys, I'm trying to offload some of them I'm not as interested in as much, like a Chevy Stewart, a Strange or whatever.
Yep.
Denny Levi, who I got rid of in the past couple of weeks for Brayley sort of thing. But,
Yeah, all these guys, like Ethan Strange, Lockie Galvin, I've still got them all. Fini Fuaki, Joe Chan. Like, I've still got them all, but... you know, I've made a lot of trades in fullback, so realistically I could have upgraded in these positions already, but I do like how the spot I'm in rank-wise.
Of course.
But yeah, this week my plans are going to be around generating some cash. So Manu, number one, trading target, Azarko. I do like. I think for him...
he's got a big BE at the moment. Yeah. You could wait. You could bring him in at a certain point. I think it's like 160 or something.
160. He's playing the Warriors this week. I mean, realistically, he can only go down to 750k at worst this week. But I don't like... I think he's a great target for the buy rounds. It just sucks having to pay that much for someone like that. Like, you want to get Azarko at his lowest, and I think you've already missed the boat.
He's a bit of a roller coaster. Like, you'll get the 45.
But like 45 is pretty good considering done nothing.
Yeah, but you want to get those big ones. You can't get them every week, but you want them.
Anyone else?
Maybe.
Is it too late to get Dom Young if you don't have him?
I don't think so.
792k, negative 11 break even.
Like I kind of feel like Dom Young's more attractive than Azarko, although Azarko's, got that goal kick and it's a bit more rounded. I feel like the Roosters are really good.
They're really good.
So yeah, they're at a pretty similar price at the moment.
Yeah, sweet.
Dom Young's got a minus 11 break even.
Yeah, I did say that.
Yep, and Azarko's got 166. So one you'd be jumping on now, and one you'd be waiting if you're sort of.
Yeah, sweet. All right, Dylan Brown is the number one traded in player this week, 683,000. Coming off a good few weeks, he scored 70 last week and he scored 90 odd the week before. He has break even to 46, and he's just picked up that dual positioning, which is very nice because I've got Matt Burton and Dylan Brown in my side now, and I've got them in 5'8" and halfback, so that's really nice to be able to swing them around. Do you have him? You've got Dylan Brown?
Yeah, I bought Dylan Brown last week for Strange, and I bought Matty Burton last week for Cleary.
Yep.
And I'm happy with the Brown to Strange thing because I feel really confident that Brown's more often than not going to go closer to that sort of 60, 70 at least, where Strange has shown that he's got those 20s, 30s in him. And Strange had two really nice try assists to Hudson Young, and at the score without I thought he would have been on a bigger score just after watching that.
Yeah, you were just like 2 try assists, that's 40 points right
Line
there.
breaks right.
I mean, 35 in base is pretty normal for someone like him. The attacking stats is what you expect, but like at a cheapy rate. He's not getting them try assists every single week. So I get where it's at. I'm holding him for around 13, and then I think I will move him on after that. And it's nice that he scored this 74 because his break-even's 23 this week, which I like. Blaze Stalung, he's the second most traded in, 410,000, negative 68 break-even. So with a score of 57 playing the Bunnies this week, he'll make 104K coming off 100. So that cash will keep rolling in. Would you buy him if you don't have him this week?
Yeah, body go for it. He's 410, which looks a bit yuckier than,
It's still pretty cheap, to be honest.
Body go. And he's at fullback. He's had 2 back-to-back tons pretty much.
Yep.
Super.
He looks really good too. Like, he looks quick.
Yeah.
He looks really quick. And that backline play with him.
I was so nervous when he had that head collision with Coates. It straight away just had blood
there was blood everywhere. I think that's a good...
helped. Yeah, I was saying to my buddies, I'm like, no, he won't get sent off. He's pouring from there. Like, what do you mean? I was like, usually he goes better off,
Yeah, if they're bleeding, it kind of means that, like, that's where the damage
it's
is.
more of they've had this. Yeah. But you still knock yourself out by
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Falongo, third most traded in, 390,000, negative 4 break even. Plays Manly this week and then has a buy around 13, and Pappy due back in around 14. So, I mean, I don't hate the buy. I think there's a chance he gets.
I don't see him rush. I don't want to be like he definitely won't play round 14 if they're saying he will. But you don't. They're on fire at the moment. The Storm. I actually thought we talked about this when we thought that Para game might be a bit closer. I thought that there was enough players sort of out for Storm, but geez, they just didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, they look very good.
Maybe they don't need to rush him back, especially how good he looks there. You reckon there's any chance he could stay in the side? Could he play 5'8"? Or he's too small?
I think there's a chance he takes Warbrick's wing.
Oh, no way.
You don't reckon?
Warbrick's been very good.
No, he hasn't. Not this year.
I think they like him, man.
He had a good game on the weekend, but I think if he has a couple poor games leading up to when Pappy comes back, I think there's a good chance that Falongo takes that wing. And also, Coates will play Origin, so
yeah,
I think there's a good chance he takes the spot there.
Feels a bit riskier than the other ones, but geez, I really like him because he didn't score any tries. But I feel like he could have multiple try games.
While we're on the Melbourne Storm, Tyron Wishart, 5'8" / halfback, 381,000, negative 7 break even. He's been basing 40. He scored 40 on the weekend, and with Munster out for an extended period, he probably locks down that position. He's a really good price, but the awkward thing is you've got to jump this week.
Yeah, I don't know, because I've had him in the past. It wasn't in a starting role. I've had him sort of been an AE nightmare for me, so I've just got this weird relationship with Wishart.
He looks better this year, to be honest. So he looks more solid,
for sure.
Looks more trustworthy. He's been kind of scrawny in the past. Now he looks like
a bit more. He's got a bit more Munstery sort of.
Yeah. Do you like him?
Talk about him. Yeah, don't mind him. There's a lot of other options, so.
Yeah,
but in that side, he's probably better than maybe I'd like him more than Sam Walker now in hindsight, you know what I mean? Like Sam Walker, even when there've been a couple of games where they've put on big points and, if he hasn't had that, try assists or whatever, it's a bit lower. But
with Tyron Wishart, though, it's just because of the position, 5'8" halfback, I've got 2 gun halfbacks already. I've got Dylan Brown in 5'8", and I've got Lockie Galvin. I'm not really...
I'm pretty keen on holding Lockie Galvin.
Yeah,
so
same.
I don't mind, because I'm now sort of getting a bit weird in the halves. I've got Burton, Sam Walker, Brown, and I was considering maybe moving Galvin to Hughes, because I just think there could be a lot of upside in Hughes.
Yep.
But I don't know, there's a part of me that kind of doesn't want to let go of Galvin yet.
80-minute games for Wishart this year, 84, 85 and 40. So pretty good this year. He's really doing well for the Melbourne Storm, but we're still on the Melbourne Storm here in the most traded in. Number 4, Eliasa Katoa, 719,000. I remember the week after you bought him, you're like, I didn't need a rush to get him in, but I think since then, by the end of the year, right now, he's one of the 3 second rollers you want to finish the year, in my opinion.
Yeah, and he's one of the only elite guys that isn't going to be affected by the Origin period too. I think he only misses 1 game over the next.
It'll be round 13 and that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess by the end of the year, you're going to have guys like Ola Kawatu, Dave Fafita, Angus Crichton.
If you want Yo, like he could be a solid plug and play.
I said Fafita, Elias Katoa. Yeah, there's a lot of guys to have a look in that back row spot, but I think he's going to be a guy who you can plug in there and just week to week while these other guys are in and out. It's just perfect, and
especially with Hughes back too now.
He's by far having his most consistent year, and that's all we've been screaming out for. We're looking at his stats pre-season, just thinking if he can string it together, he'll be a gun, and it's exactly what he's doing. And yeah, he'll have them 45s, but you take that, right?
Nice try on the weekend.
Sorry?
It was a nice try.
Yeah, I actually left by then. So, yeah, we had to drive to the Gold Coast on the night time. KO Weeks, 348,000 available, 5'8", fullback, negative 28 break even. He looks really good.
He has lost the kicking to Rapana now, so maybe less appealing there because you're just backing all on what he's going to do. But yeah, I don't know.
He didn't kick any goals on the weekend, you're right. 67 on the weekend, try assist and a try contribution. He had a nice line break. He looks,
almost scored off that too.
He looks good. Again, in that position, fullback's even worse. But like at this time of year, if you held on to Trey Fuller for a week just to reassess, I don't hate it. But at the same time, like these Canberra players, they got to buy around 14. So if you got too many of them, it's going to be a bit awkward. Joe Manu, number 6, we've already spoken about him. Matt Burton, he's number 7. Break even of 75. Plays St George Illawarra Dragons Thursday night. I'm actually quite keen to see him go along. The Knights in round 13, Parramatta in round 14. What do you think his origin chances are?
Well, that's what I was going to say.
In my opinion, I think he should be the 6, but he's kind of been not really... Like, he has been in conversation, but he's been like 3rd or 4th guy.
Yeah. I know we're probably keener on what the rest of the media... So they're not throwing his name up, and they're throwing up still names like Luke Keary and Cody Walker and Luai.
They're saying Cody Walker, yeah.
Well, that's whether whoever is reporting that or wherever they're getting that word from. But, yeah, I reckon now that it's just like 1 week away from... that origin selection, you only get 1 more week before 13. I'd be less inclined to bring in these guys that are on the fringes and just wait 1 more week if you can. Break evens might be an issue. I'm not too sure where he's at. 75, so it's not like you have to go on him. The game, it's a nice matchup, but I think the Dogs have got a pretty good draw for the most part going forward anyway, so it's not like you're going to miss out too much on. But yeah, I'd probably wait if you can. But
I would too. I guess
there's probably people that are buying him. I reckon it'd be Cleary holders that were going to wait and assess, especially ones that already had maybe Dylan Brown at 5'8". But if you don't already have Dylan Brown, you could. I think having both of them is definitely a play. So you could bring Brown in this week at halfback and go maybe Burton next week once you get the green light that he's not selected. Bradman Best went down injured during the game. I don't know how bad that was. So that could be another play.
He's out for a couple of weeks, yeah.
Is he? Jeez, that really increases his odds because it's either then...
I don't think he gets selected at centre, though, because I think they've got a few options that they are looking at.
But he's still... If they're going to go that left centre, it's just like one player out and he's proven that he's...
Personally, I think he plays 5'8" if he does play. Madge is looking like he wants to go like a gritty kind of side, and I feel like he doesn't...
Who do you think they're going to go then?
I think Ramian's going to get that right
yeah,
edge.
That's been reported a lot, hasn't it?
And I think they've got between Latrell and probably like Crichton's definitely going to make that side. So if Ramian does play on that right edge, it'll be Crichton on that left. And like it's funny, on the Saturday night, I remember watching, I don't know if it was you, we're watching a replay of Ramian do that step. And I'm not sure if it was you, probably wasn't you. I looked at whoever it was and I was like, that's his Origin jersey. Tommy Hazleton for Origin? Like, thoughts?
Could be a smoky. I mean, he's pretty like... He's crossing the line a lot, and that's all I'm sort of paying attention to. Like,
he's trucking.
But I haven't really been watching him close enough, you know what I mean, to be really saying whether or not you chuck him in there. There's a lot of other people in that mix, but
I think
there's still a lot of question marks over some of them that you're like, would you or not? Like, I've been pretty big on Steph, but not 100% now on him. I don't know.
I've actually, I don't know who I was speaking to, but I think I pretty much said it's going to, I reckon it's going to be very Sharks heavy. Like, I reckon Brayley gets picked. Yeah. I reckon Ramien gets picked. I think McInnes and Hines are locked. And yeah, I guess that's probably it. But that's pretty heavy compared to what we're used to.
I think they've never had one really in the past. I can't think of when they had one last year.
The last few years, they lost Hines once for that first game because he's playing off the bench. But yeah, interesting to see how that goes. And we'll find out on Sunday night or Monday morning. So a lot of this speculation is going to go to rest. And then our minds can go to ease, we can plan properly, and then it's going to happen again come Origin too. So it's just
there'll be more injuries. And,
yeah. All right. Number 8, Tolatu Kula, 493K. Break even of 9, plays a Melbourne Storm this week. I think he looked really good on the weekend. He'd be someone I'd be very keen to have. But do you just take the price jump this week and then jump on him the week after if you are keen? Just because of the bye period?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I'm sort of looking at. I think he's got the draw gets a little bit rough, but it is. So it's this weekend. So it's mainly just this week, and then Penrith in round 14. So I've been aware that the Manly side did come into a bit of a tougher couple of matchups, but I'm pretty much like him. I think I've got one more spot to fill in the centre wing, and with Farloga and a bit of extra doubt, I'd probably put him ahead.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I do like Cooley. He looks very good.
I've got Blaze ahead of them both, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I've already got him.
Blaze 410K, plays round 13 for sure. There is another purchase, Tulpiki, who could be very similar. We'll talk about him very shortly. But Marshall King is number 9, and the Hammer is number 10, which is real weird. The Hammer absolutely killed it on the weekend. But Marshall King, break him to 51, 620K, scored 81 on the weekend. So, yeah, he's probably a nice little buy-round target. But, yeah, Tulpiki, let's have a look at him. Mikey actually was going to play him all week, but decided, I think because he bought someone, I don't know.
How's about bloody, what's his face too, that was a popular sell, Tamari
Martin, yeah.
Went off.
So Tulpiki, -5, break even, 387K, scored 90 points. Far out. These players, like, I've sold Tulpiki early in the year.
Ages ago, but he was a good sell back then. You couldn't have, I don't think you could have sold that
Talangi as well. Yeah. It sucks buying these guys back, but Tulpiki, he looks good. I like the look of him.
I'm less impressed about him maybe as some of those other guys. I think they're Coolers, Blaze Tulangi.
Because they're available in centre wing as well.
Yeah, big time. That. I think the eye test, they all look like they've got a little bit more pizzazz about them. There's more upside in them.
Yep.
We had Tulpiki, and he was sort of plugging away, getting 40s, 50s, and we were sort of happy enough with that. Better game this week for him. Last week, I should say. But yeah, not as big on him as the others.
All right, on to team list. There's not much doing this week, like compared to last week. Last week we had to go through them all because it was just like it was ridiculous. But this week it's kind of very similar. Lomax is back on the wing for the Dragons, which is good for Lomax owners. I think he's probably a big buy-round target as well.
Yeah,
I really like him. He's very cheap for what he is too, 716,000. So if you had the cash to get someone like Lomax, I'd be very keen. The Tigers are decimated this week. They're playing the Cowboys at home. They've got Declan Casey, Josh Felaherty, and Solomon Amolo in their backline. So
seems thin, doesn't it?
Is it? Are the Cowboys a prime target for this week? Maybe. They've been quite underwhelming at the same time. Manly versus the Storm. Jerome Hughes is back. Munster is out. Jerome Hughes, I'd like to wait another week and just have a look and then reassess after the buys after round 13. One smoky I do want to throw out at you. Jason Saab's back for Manly, by the way, which means Jackson Paulo is out. But Raymond Tuamala Vega, 330,000. He has a score of 38 in his first match and he scored 80 on the weekend. 330,000, -7 break even. He's basing quite well. I'm for me, I can probably cop whatever he scores this week, and then, 330,000. I don't want to spend much more on him, but
yeah, I don't know. He seems like he's the type of player that does have a lot of errors in him. He's like a wrecking ball sort of body shape, like he's got that Marju sort of factor about him. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe if he was more of a bottom dollar guy. I know that 80 score is still very impressive, and on a wing for Manly, maybe there'll be tries there. But I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of better options around that price. Like 400, you got Armstrong, who a lot of people would have, but they might not have Blaze Talangi at a similar price. I'd be going those guys.
They got Melbourne and Penrith, and then their draw after that for the rest of the year. They don't play any of them teams.
How long do you reckon that he's got that spot for?
I think he's got it. Like, Saab's back. Yeah. It just depends what happens when Tommy comes back, which, I mean...
Have they got anyone else out there in that back line on the extended sort of...
No, they don't. Well, like, Jackson Paulo got dropped for Jason
and that
Saab
other
to come
guy
back.
that they used to have has gone to St. George.
Christian Tuipulotu. I reckon when Tommy comes back, Tommy plays centre, and maybe that pushes...
Why?
I reckon there's a good chance it happens.
Nah.
I reckon it happens. I reckon there's a good chance it happens. Maybe for like the first couple of weeks. Nah? You don't reckon? You don't reckon?
No.
All right. We'll come back to this conversation at the end of the year when he plays centre for the first couple of weeks.
Then you prove me wrong, yeah.
Ben Trebojevic, break even of 45. Do you reckon he's a sell?
Jake Trebojevic?
Ben.
Oh, Ben. I've got him and I haven't really thought about it. I haven't really been looking at playing him. What's his BE, did you say?
45. 42.
I don't know. I'm sort of just happy enough to the dual flexibility for me.
It's been very handy, hasn't it?
I've got other blokes that are sort of lingering. In my other sides, he might be a good sell for other sides.
Yeah.
Like team dependent if you're...
Well, in my situation, I was looking at no trades this week.
Me too, hopefully.
But I want one of these guys, like a Blaze Talangi. He's my only avenue to a Blaze Talangi.
If he's your only avenue, then...
I could sell Finny Furiaki, but I do like Finny Furiaki next week as a round 13 play. But Finny Furiaki's break-even's pretty high. He might lose a bunch of cash once again. It's a bit of an awkward...
It's a tough one to decide between, because I do really like the dual. It comes in so handy when you want to make trades, move things stuff around. I reckon you probably could sell him, but... Yeah, I don't want to do it.
I just think for Blaze Talangi, like he could be 500-600K in a couple of weeks, and that's another gun centre wing that Ben Trebojevic is taking up a spot that could have been.
You couldn't do Chan. You wouldn't be able to afford that. You got Chan, don't you?
Nah, I can't. I've got like 20K in the bank. Yeah, it's really awkward. It sucks. For the Roosters, Joey Manu is back. Not much else doing in either side. Connor Watson's out for a month, which is, it's origin hit. And for the Roosters, Nafahu White is playing lock. Sandon Smith, Butcher, Lenu, and Terrell May are on the bench. So I think that's good for Terrell May's minutes. Victor Radley's playing on the edge as well. Angus Crichton's name. Jeez, I didn't even look at that. I thought I thought he might have not get named. Sharks play Penrith this week. Dylan Edwards.
Wowza.
120.
Jeez, he's really after I was watching that game, I'm like, I think I'm swinging. Like, I was like, you still got to pick Teddy, but he
scored the easiest 120 points you've ever seen. And like, it doesn't look like he's even, it does look like he's trying, but it looks like he's doing it so effortlessly.
Nice early try was helpful.
That was at the end I was at, and I was death riding him hard because I nailed my captain choice.
I was tossing up between him and Tago for first try scorer so bad.
Were ya?
Yeah, I went the wrong way.
He went Tago. Tago ended up scoring, but he's a central part of their attack, and I think if he doesn't get picked for Origin, number one traded in player next week. He has to be. He's just so expensive.
Affordability is the problem, though. Yeah, a lot of people will struggle to be out. And you could probably still make it happen, though, because there's probably guys that now that it comes to this time of the year that you might go, I'm willing to part with that guy because he is maybe Origin affected and doesn't have much, there might be high risk of not backing up or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably have to consider him because I got Walsh there and I was intending to not hold Walsh, I don't think.
Yeah. The Parramatta play the Rabbitohs. Cody Walker named at 7, Jack Whiten at 6. Nice. I like that. Cody Walker, he scored 100 on the weekend.
Got downdated a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, he was on 118. I'm pretty sure, I think Jake bought him in.
Nice. Shout out to Jake.
Yeah, he always does these weird buys like this. He's in the Origin conversation, though. So I think I'd wait another week. I'll suss out his break even, but 543K, his break even's 26. Playing Parramatta Eels, he's got a good matchup this week. His record against Parramatta Eels is very good.
I think that, they might score a few tries down that side too.
I like him as a buy. You actually look at his numbers. He hasn't scored terribly. He scored a 36, 38, and 39. That sucks. But, after that, 44, 49, and then 51, 71, 66, 99.
AJ back, just that combination.
AJ and Latrell back. I think the Rabbitohs are going to turn a corner here, and I think they win. And I'm very excited as a Latrell owner because he could be my captain once again.
Yeah. He's got massive upside in him. So
he does. Ryan Madison's on the edge again, which is good. 400 something K. I've had a lot of questions about him, but I just don't trust him, to be honest. I feel like he didn't play on the weekend because he didn't want to pay for the bus on the way there. So, no, I'm kidding. Reece Walsh is back for the Broncos. If you held on, that's a nice little hold on against the Titans. Tom Weaver for the Titans is in. Fafita, absolutely killing it. Absolutely killing it. Tuapiki is back for the Warriors. Hammer is still there for the Dolphins. Azarko, not much else doing. Max Plath is back for the Dolphins. Tohu Harris is still out. So hopefully good for Adam Fanua-Blake minutes, even though it wasn't an issue on the weekend. But I guess that's it for team list. Do you want to do the tipping point?
Sure, I do.
Actually, let's talk about our trades first.
Okay. I think it's going to be a pretty quick segment. I think we're probably... I don't want to trade this week at all.
I think it's a good week not to trade. Obviously, looking at the top 10 traded in, I don't see any of them players that are in the top 10 traded in absolute killer people who can ton up this week. And I think that's why you kind of... Obviously, the moneymakers in Talangi and all that sort of stuff, if you want cash generation, this is the week to do it. But... yeah, that's why I'm only making one trade this week. I would have loved to only make two, but only save two. But yeah,
you are making the one?
I'm just making one, and I'm hoping.
And that's the Blaze possible one.
If I only make one this week, I want to make sure I don't use 3 next week.
I might have to look at it a bit closer. I am interested in some of these. Guys that we've been talking about, the cheaper CT dub fullback guys like the Armstrongs, the Coolers, that sort of stuff. I've got Chevy Stewart as my final CT dub doing nothing there. And I've got a fair bit in the bank. So just a decision of whether I'd be wanting to go to one of these guys with a low BE now, like David Armstrong, who's still going to be making money, or whether I'll hold off, make no trades this week and maybe spend a bit more money the week after and upgrade Chevy Stewart to, I don't know, someone a bit more expensive. Mine is probably a bit out of picture, but that might be an option.
Yeah, nice. All right, the tipping point. What players are we going to do today? So let's go Dylan Brown, the number 1 traded in player this week, plays the Bunnies. Let's do... There's not much doing this week.
We could do... It's tough because we're not bringing people in because they're usually someone that we'd consider.
Yeah, and like the popular captain option, like obviously...
A lot of the stars. There's so many stars out as well.
Yeah.
So.
All right, let's go. Do we do Blaze Talangi? Nah, I'm pretty sure we did him last week. All right,
how did we go last week? I
don't know. I didn't upload the photos because obviously Magic Round. I'll have a look back at that and I'll do an update next week. But all right, let's go Dylan Brown.
Yep.
Just got the jewel. We'll also go...
Do you want to do my captain and your captain? Not my captain. Well, potentially my captain and your captain, Reece Walsh and Latrell.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So Dylan Brown, let's start the line at 60.
I'll go over 60 and go to 65.
I'll go over 65 and go 70.
I'll go over 70 and go 75.
Ooh, I'll go over 75 and go 77.
I'll go over 77 and go up to 80.
I will go below 80.
Nice. That's a nice line, I think, for us to find the middle ground.
Reece Walsh against the Titans.
Yeah, so what was this injury that he didn't play last week for? What was
Knee
this?
injury.
And it was, I saw they get a photo shoot. It looked slightly strapped, so it's hopefully not too major, just being safe. Just trying to work out whether that takes in any consideration. So where are you setting the line?
75.
I'll go over and go to 90.
I'll go under 90.
All right, cool.
I might have had a different answer if I traded him in last week.
Yeah. You sort of want to root against him.
Yeah. All right, and Latrell Mitchell will set the line at 75.
I'll go above and go to 85.
I'll go 95.
I'll go up and set the line to 100.
I'll go up to 110.
I'll go up to 115.
Okay, I'll go under.
Right.
Well, you think he's going to score well this week?
Yeah, I think he's going to score well the next little bit. He's not.
I
If
like
he doesn't
it.
play, I think he's brought in. I really like the pod plays you've been making. Like I feel like it's easy to just make pod plays and go different people, but I think the ones that you've been bringing in over the last, like not every sort of week, but just in patches, have been the right,
Yeah.
and they've been in big positions as well.
Yeah, it's
So-
a bit weird because I feel like it's my plans were to sell Johnson to Joey Manu this week. Instead, I got him Burton last week, and my backup plan was to sell Tommy to Manu this week, and then late I bloody
Oh, so you've
traded
kind
to
of
Latrell.
lost your way to Manu.
I've lost my way to Manu, but I think something will arise next week.
Could present. Well, do you know?
But there's a lot of Origin guys who, if they get picked for Origin, we can't hold all these Origin.
What's your
Origin
thoughts?
guys.
I'm probably in the hold camp of Val Holmes because I sold him last year.
Yeah, I'm holding.
I sold him leading up to Origin, and I probably did it about 2 weeks before Origin, and I think he went pretty well those weeks.
He
And
scored 150 in like round 14 or 15.
yeah, so the ones outside of it too, it cost me. So, but he's just one of those ones because there have been quite a few of those 50 scores in him as well.
I've had a lot of questions about Val Holmes, and I think we've definitely got to wait till Origin selection because
Good chance he doesn't make it still. We've sort of, so not good chance.
I don't
but
think good chance, but like Gagai is playing pretty good footy, and Gagai could get picked for Origin.
there has been defensive issues for.
There is, but like Val Holmes hasn't been great himself, so I think it's a bit of an
Oh,
awkward.
I'm saying for Val, the defensive
Oh
issues.
yeah. And I see Billy Slater making the call. If you think, I personally don't think he's going to miss out. I just think he's too talented to miss out. But
I think it will really depend on this week, though. Possibly if he hasn't already made his mind up, Billy, because
true.
yeah, I think it just with I think we said last week, he just showed he was willing to just give Hammer the spot over Gagai. I think Billy needs to feel the trust.
Yep, that's it. Captains, obviously, I'm not going. I might go Latrell, might go Drinky, might go Val. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I
Are we ruling Hines out?
don't think you can rule him out, especially like Penrith aren't at their
strength,
finest. Yeah, and I think there was a lot of errors in them. The errors that they made last week were frustrating. Maybe they'll fix that up, but just with the players out of position a bit. Well, I guess it's only just Jack Caulfield. There's not too many others out.
Yeah.
It just feels like it. There feels like a big space, a big void with Nath not there at the moment. Especially with like Luai being in the 7.
I thought he played well last week, Luai.
Yeah, he was better than what he has been.
Oh,
but-
shout out to bloody anyone that was listening. I had someone message me after Luai scored on the weekend because I said on one of the podcasts last week that Luai was my one lock for Origin to score a try, and because I've put money on him the last 2 weeks, and he hasn't scored, so he was my lock this week, and I forgot to do it.
Ouch.
I hardly bet all weekend.
Yeah, I just found it hard to. I wasn't confident betting as well because of the magic round factor. There was so much surprise factor. A couple of my bets didn't go well early, so I just sort of took it a bit easier. And there was more fun to be had. I didn't need to be involved in the bet to make my game experience more.
Yeah, that's true. That's half of it, isn't it? Yeah. Just watching the game.
You want to feel like you're more in the game, but when you're running around Suncorp with 2 beers in either hand.
I had 2 beers and bloody four cocktail slushies.
They went down.
They went down way too easily. Yeah. I reckon I had 30 of them cocktail really? Slushies. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Over the 2 days, obviously.
I had one. Just as a breakup, they were nice in between a beer. But anyways, captains, I'm probably going to go Walsh.
Yep.
Just looks nice. But yeah, as I was saying, I think you can go Nico. He scored really well last week in a tougher game as well.
Yep.
He's probably worst case scenario. I feel like he's like an 80.
Yep.
So, but I'll be going Walsh VC. Maybe Lomax or
I
might just go Lomax for something a bit different.
Yeah, I think I'm going Captain Latrell at the moment, but I haven't really looked at it, to be honest. I've been off my phone a lot over the last couple of days. Shout out to Winners Locker. They're doing their draw this Friday night, 9 p.m. So follow them on Instagram and you'll see them do the draw. There are many different packages you can sign up to, which give you invites to Winners Locker, exclusive events, 1,000 monthly reward points, 15% off Winners Locker merch, access to the Winners Mobile website. They're giving away $50,000 this Friday night at 9 p.m. So suss out their website at winnerslocker.com.au. Use the code TURBO when signing up. And there's been a lot of success stories with Winners Locker. They do a draw every 2 weeks, so they're doing it this Friday. Suss it out. Get involved.
Got to be in it to win it.
That's it. Anything else?
Nope.
Cool. All right. Thanks for coming on. It's been a tough carry, but we got there. Yeah,
no, it's all good. I feel good. I took a little Ruben Wiki off today and rested up.
All right. Catch you guys later.